Hi, in today's video, we're going to be using Luminar AI to process a poolside lifestyle type of portrait. It's going to be a young model, poolside. There's some foliage behind her. So that means that we're going to have a combination of portrait editing. We're going to have some foliage enhancement and some overall touches that we want to do to make this photograph look a little bit better. So if you find that interesting, stick with me. We'll go ahead and get started. Hi, my name is William Beem. I am a photographer just like you. And if you don't have Luminar AI, this will give you an idea of what's available inside. Also, if you want to get it, I've got a coupon code. It's the same as my last name, Beem, and I'll put that up here somewhere, also in the description below. And finally, be sure to check out williambeem.com for more articles and information on photography. Okay, let's go ahead and get started and take a look at our portrait today. All right, so this is an available light portrait. There's no flash on her. This is just all, sunlight and available light. And what we see here are a couple of issues that we need to look at. Notice it's very dark in the background. The foliage isn't really standing out. And it's very flat lighting on her. And quite honestly, it's not flattering lighting. The pool, I think, could use a little bit more light. So we've got an average or correct exposure, but I think we can do better to make this look a little bit more interesting. So the first thing that I typically like to do is to start over here with Enhance AI. In some cases, I'll start with Composition AI if I see a problem, but I kind of like the composition as it is, so we're going to leave that right there. And I just click in the middle, and that does a lot of the heavy lifting and most of the work for me, to be honest with you. So we've got some light on our foliage, we've got more light on our subject here, and the pool water looks much nicer. So we can kind of see what's going on. The next thing I like to do is come down here to Professional. I want to click on Optics. And I just want to check these two boxes to see if there's any distortion corrections that we need to make. And those will take care of that for us. So you can see how it just popped into place right there. We've eliminated the distortions, and that was very fast, convenient, and easy. I'm going to start actually with the landscape rather than with her. And there's a reason for that. First off, I want to hit up golden hour because that's going to make a nice warm tone on her skin. It brings out her suntan actually quite a bit. And we can take this too far, then she starts turning a little bit more cartoonish colored. So I kind of like to bring this back. Don't forget about landscape when you're doing portraits that have skin, because it's a good way to bring some color to a person's skin. Now, foliage enhancer scares me to death because it is exceptionally strong. Even if I just bring it up a little bit like that, you can see it makes this turn very electric green. And I don't think I need it. I think this is kind of a natural color that we got from the essentials up here with Enhance AI and working with Accent AI. So I'm not going to add any foliage enhancer. I don't need dehaze. So that really does everything I need to do with the landscape. The next thing I'm going to do is come down and start working on the portrait. And there are a couple of things that I want to correct. I want to bring her eyes out. They're kind of lost in the shadows over here. Her lips as well, I think we can add a little bit more color. We can bring a bit more brightness to her face because it is flat lighting. It's lighting everything just the same, and I want to draw you into her eyes. And there's a little bit of specular highlight over here. I think we can fix that with the shine tool. So let's start off with face. I'm going to give you just a little bit of light on her face. And I don't think we need to slim her face, but just a little bit of lighting. I hit it about 20. And now we'll move on to our eyes. I'm going to bring the iris flare up roughly halfway. It's at 56 here. And that kind of brings her eyes out a little bit. And I also like to enlarge a person's eyes because it helps you connect with them. It draws you in. So we're going to bring up the size of her eyes just a little bit. Now her eye whites are also going to help us. So I'm going to bring that up. And then I'm going to go to town here on the eye enhancer. And the whole idea of that is to bring out a bit more color and a bit more light right there. She doesn't have a problem with red eye. There's no dark circles that we really need to remove. We can try this out and because of the shadow that's in there. But I don't think that's really doing anything for us, so I'm not worried about that. I am going to bring up improve eyebrows just a bit. She has nice eyebrows. I want to just darken them and make them look a little bit fuller to kind of bring out her eyes. So what do I want to do here? Are we happy with the eyes? Do we want to enhance the eyes a bit more or add more flare? I'm going to go with flare. And you can see the underside of her iris it adds that light in there, like a bit of a catch light. I'm going to bring this down to about 65, and I think that's going to make me happy. I want to make sure you can see her eyes, but I don't want to make them shoot out at you like laser beams. So that's all we want to do with the eyes. I'm going to close this. Let's go to the mouth. And obviously we don't have any need for teeth whitening. She's not smiling to show her teeth. I am going to bring up her saturation for her lips. And now the rest of it is really to your taste. Do you like redness? Do you like darker lips? I kind of want to bring this out because to me there is a bit of color contrast between the blue in her eyes and her lips. Do you like this color or not? This is something you decide, again, to your taste. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I could see why some people might want to bring the redness up a bit more or pull it back a bit. I want enough color there just to have some contrast with the eyes. So I'm just kind of messing around with this a bit, but I think I'm just going to leave it there at about 25. And that's all I need to do with her face. Now let's go under her skin. Obviously, this is a young and attractive woman. She does not have flawed skin. I don't see any problems over here. Maybe a couple of little spots up there that kind of go with, the age. Everybody's got some kind of flaw somewhere. But for the most part, I'm really happy with her. I'm going to turn on skin defects removal. I'm going to make the amount rather small, maybe 25. And you notice that these little problems that I mentioned over here are gone. I didn't have to go get a clone or a healing brush or erase anything. Just checking that skin defects removal did it. The next thing I mentioned was the shine. There's a little bit of specularity there and a little bit there. I don't want to eliminate the highlights. I don't even want to eliminate the specularity from her lips. But I am going to bring up the shine removal just a bit. And just like that, we still have our highlights. We just don't have too much shine. And her lips still have that specularity. It gives it, just a little bit of brightness and attention. The next item down is body. I don't think she needs anything at all. I think she's great just the way she is. If I were taking this portrait to give to her, I would leave it like this. I might enhance it maybe by moving this up to 5. So we'll move this up to 5 or 6. And you'll see, especially on her shoulder here, it'll kind of pop into place a little bit. But if you're doing this for a different kind of client, let's say that she was a model hired and you're doing like maybe a catalog shoot or the swimsuit, they may have different ideas of what they want. And that's where body shape comes in. You might bring this up to 39 or 40, and you're going to see that there is a dramatic slendering of the model. Again, it really depends upon your purpose. If you're doing this as a catalog and they really want to have slender models like this, you can bring it up that high. If you're doing it for the person, she's going to come back and say, that's not what I look like. So I am kind of the mind of enhance a little for the person. And then if you need to do something for a client because the model's hired as just something to hang the clothes on, then you can start working on other things. That's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. I typically don't work with abdomen, and let me show you why. So again, she's slender. She's got a nice midsection here. I'm going to bring this up to 26, and you'll see her belly button kind of pop in just a little bit. If I bring this way over here to 73, there's another change. And again, it kind of brings that section in. But honestly, I don't see anything wrong with her the way she was or as she is. So I tend to leave that alone. Unless I have a need for doing an abdomen change, I don't. You can see that she's got, a little bit of a indentation here and her abs are in shape. She's a young, healthy woman. I don't want to change that. I don't want to make a change for the sake of making a change. I want to just enhance what's already there. So for body shape, all I did was move that up to 5. Now, there are a few things that we could do. I'm not going to, but this little thing over here, the lift up for the pool skimmer, you could clone that out if you wanted to, if it were bothering you. It's not bothering me. You might want to crop a little bit more. Maybe you want to get rid of like this palm frond over here by cropping in some. I would be wary of, I don't want to cut off down here under her thigh or her fingers. So if you're going to crop, be careful of what you cut off. I don't mind cutting off like, the part of the top of a person's head, because that's kind of a common thing to do to crop in. So if you're going to crop that way, that could be interesting. What I will do is add 2 more things. I'm going to come over here to glow. I'm going to change this from soft focus to glow. I'm going to add a small amount, about 25, because I think that does a really nice job, again, enhancing her skin and just kind of softening up the photo overall without losing detail. And the last thing that I want to do is put on a vignette. In my case, I like to do this a little bit of a strange way. Maybe you do, maybe you don't do it this way, but let me show you. So first thing I want to do is choose my subject. My idea of the subject is from roughly this part of her head, like her hairline right here, down to about here to her bottom bikini line. So that means I don't put this on her face because that would put a lot of the vignette opening above her head. I'm going to come down here roughly to the center of her body and click this on her chest. And then I'm going to bring the amount way over. I really want to darken it. And that lets me see how my vignette is. I can change the size. Then if I need to move it around, I'm not going to leave it at that size. I'm going to bring it back up because I kind of want to go right about there. Like I said, the top of her bottom bikini line to her hairline over here. And then I'll back off the amount. And I want to make it kind of an imperceptible amount. So I'm probably about 55 is good for me. And I'm happy with that. The only other thing I want to change is not the roundness or the feather. I'm pleased with those. I want to add a little bit of inner light. In other words, I want to brighten up the section inside the vignette. And there we are. So let's take a quick look before and after. So this is before. As I said, we had a very flat image. And now I'd be happy with this. I'd hang this on my wall. I'd give this to her as a client. And it was something that I might even be able to take and use in a commercial endeavor if I needed to. I'm happy that Luminar AI gave us the tools that we could just put this together in a few minutes. It took longer with me talking, describing every step I've got to go through than if I did this by myself. If I had to do this in Photoshop, it would be a lot longer to go, but I think this is just a very quick and easy way to enhance something if you're going to use it for delivery of a portrait, for marketing material. I think it does a really nice job. If you don't have Luminar AI yet, I'll have a coupon code below. As I mentioned, you can save $10 off of Luminar AI. Also, I have a course. If you buy using my coupon code, Beem, I will give you that course for free. Basically, it is a tutorial that goes over every feature inside of Luminar AI and shows you how to use it. It's good for learning Luminar AI if you first get started. It's also good as a reference later on if you forgot, how does this work? Well, you can go to the course, take a look at the video for that particular tool or filter, and I'll show you how it works right there. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. My name is William Beem. You can find me at williambeem.com. Of course, I've got articles on photography there and a couple of courses and some freebies, so please check that out. I'll have the link in the description below. If you like this video, please click the like button. That tells YouTube if I did something right. They'll share this with more people. It helps the channel grow. Click subscribe if you like these videos, and click the little bell notification icon. You'll get a notice the next time I put something out. Thank you so much. I'll see you again next video.